You had your chance and then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
Live from West St. Paul Studios, it's time for MinneZona Sports Live with DJ Matty C and Paul the Shield Vold.
And this is MinneZona Sports Live. We are back, yes! Episode 151, our first episode back from 150. And we got a great one lined up for tonight. And without further ado, I'm your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callahan, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., etc., etc. And all the way from Granite City Studios in St. Cloud, Minnesota, Vault, Shield. What is happening, Shield?
You know, they always say that Memorial Day is kind of the kickoff to summer. And you know what? We went from late spring into summer, kind of like that with the weather. Well,
Yep.
I like to think of us, episode 151, as your official start to summer because it is hot. I've got a fan around my neck. I got a fan to my left. I got a fan pointing at my feet right now. I am still sweating. I'm not wearing a shirt underneath this jersey. I am still sweating like a dog over here. But nonetheless, we got a great show that's going to be coming up here for you tonight because of the fact that we're going to be giving some stuff away.
It is. It's very exciting. It'll be our 150th episode celebration by doing a little giveaway. Or, you know, not a little giveaway, a big giveaway. We're giving away stickers. We're giving away hats. We're giving away shirts, limited edition shirts. So, that's what we're going to do for Tater Tot Hot Takes. So, for all the people that will be tuning in and whatnot.
They better be tuning in.
Because if you want to win free stuff,
it helps if you tune.
The odds are in your favor, and if you tune in, who knows? Maybe you get something extra. I don't know. We'll see. Mm-hmm. It all depends on the zoners. So, good luck to all. So, but before we start, a little news. Let's hit the Tater Tot Hot Take intro first. Let's go.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
All right, it's time for some Tater Tot Hot Take, and yes, here it is. The merch giveaway claps all around. Limited edition shirt. Papa Callahan's wearing the hat. And
there
technically, this is his hat I'm wearing anyway. And make sure you check out the stickers. We got some cool stickers, I will say. Great merch all the way around. But, Voldy, there's been a little bit of news before we start doing our giveaway because we want our zoners to have a chance to settle in, and we'll start it off. But real quick, Voldy, there's been some talk about the Justin Jefferson extension.
Yes.
It's going to happen soon. Tomorrow is June 1st. So the Dalvin Cook contract situation is brought up there. How are we feeling about the contract extension for one Justin Jefferson? What do you got?
I would like to think that no news is good news in this regard because of the fact that, you know, obviously he is your franchise player and, you know, the fact that he's made an impact now 3 seasons in, not only for your team, but also in the league itself. And he's a standout player. I mean, he was Offensive Player of the Year in just his 3rd season in the NFL. Speaks leaps and bounds to only the fact that his stock is only going up. You want to lock him down for as long as you can right now. And hopefully that you can definitely start, obviously, building more around him, too, with the players that you have. Or maybe you got to make a couple of moves to make something happen. But if he's happy, everybody else should be happy as well. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that because, you know, obviously there hasn't been a lot of animosity, at least outwardly spoken, from the front office, from the coaching staff, from, Jefferson himself saying like, I'm not happy, give me my money now. Or,
Straight cash.
I want out of here. So, I mean, I like to think that.
Straight cash, homie.
So, it's obviously going to happen, and it seems like the Vikings are dead set on it. And there's been some, he's not at OTAs. What does that mean? What does that? It means nothing. It's nothing. OTAs. He doesn't have to be there, for goodness sake. But there's a lot to put into. There are things that are put into motion now. So if you do, you give him the new contract. Now, what happens to Dalvin? And that's the big question, too. We're going to talk about that for ARA as well. So, KOC talking a lot about Alexander Mattison.
Yes.
Alexander Mattison featured on the Twitter banner or social media's banners, whatever you want to call it, right? So, there's a lot of talk with that. But specifically, you are crazy if you don't give him a much-needed new contract. The guy has put up numbers for 3 seasons, and he, especially last year, and you can't just think, well, the Vikings are, you could, it frees up cap space and things like that. Well, no, this is a franchise player, and you're gonna hold on to him as best you can. So. That's the good news with that. And keep them happy, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Jared says, if Easy wins something, I consider it his wedding gift.
You should.
You should. And he is getting married.
He is.
On Saturday. So.
Already?
Going on. Yep.
Goodness.
He's getting married. So,
gosh.
we'll be heading up
Thanks
to
for the
Stockton.
invite, Easy.
Well, we could Zoom it. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, good job, Easy. Jokes. Bye-bye, Dalvin, says Seymour. He'll show up eventually. They all do until they start noticing their wallet is getting thinner. So that is very true with Seymour.
Very, very true.
I believe a deal's going to get done, and we'll be A-okay. So
got to trim the fat first, unfortunately, before you free up that cap space. So.
Yep. So there's not a whole lot much popping out of Eagan, Minnesota, but there very well could be tomorrow, so we'll keep in tune with that. All right, you have waited long enough. You've waited long enough. Now, I did kind of tell a white lie a little bit. I was going to do a hat thing where I put names in a hat. No, we're not doing that. We are doing the wheel.
2023, people.
Yeah, we are doing the wheel. I will be presenting the wheel in a second, but Voldy, we've got a lot of entries. And those entries, it has turned out to over 100 zoners. So, before we get even started, we're giving a lot of claps. Now, a lot of them are zoners, but I did add some athletes in there. And one of them being Kirk O'Chains, Justin Jefferson, obviously.
Of course. Yep.
Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, just kind of the big PJ Fleck. So we got
there you
that
go.
going
PJ
for us.
would love our stuff.
And of course we got our guy Troy Stoudemire. So
I do.
We're in good shape there. And yeah, there might be some names that you look at and be like, oh, they'll never give it to him. We might. I mean, you never know. We got connections, right? We can somehow get it to him, right? Kirko, I think would love a shirt. I really think he would. So, all right. Well, let's start it off. Voldy, we are starting off with stickers, correct?
Yes.
So we
One
got
of these guys.
We got the big MinneZona sticker right here.
There it is.
So this is our first go around. Now remember, we're doing this 3 times. So we got the sticker. We've got obviously the hat, not this hat, but the hat that Voldy has in his possession, and our limited edition shirt, gray with the red lettering. And then we will make sure if there's a size issue or if you want to give it to someone else, we'll talk. We'll talk. So it is an XL for the shirt. FYI.
Yes, it's an extra large.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. Cheer. Just don't have Kirk throw your shirts. Tends not to go where it should most of the time. Ha ha ha. Seymour.
Coming from
Funny
a Titans fan.
Funny guy. Yeah. How's Tanny Hill doing? No. All right. Well, let's get going. Show you the wheel. The wheel of MinneZona. You saw it yesterday for most of you. So this is what we got. Thank you to wheelofnames.com. You've really been a godsend.
Huge play.
So, Voldy, you ready? Should we go?
Let's do it.
All right. Here comes the spin. Might take a second here. Bear with us. It will go. I hope it does. All right, here we go for a MinneZona bumper sticker. And, oh, God, no. No! 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 I can't believe it. I
hate
can't.
this show. This show's dumb. I quit.
I can't believe it. Are you kidding me? He already has one. Should we just re-roll? He does.
Spin it again.
We're going to spin it again. We're spinning again. We're still going.
Spin it again.
We're still going for the bumper sticker. He already got his.
Sticker.
He already got his. Gosh darn it.
He paid for it like he should have. Should have paid double.
Kerf Doctor's laughing. Seymour's laughing a little bit. The wheel took a bribe, I swear. Mikey says, don't
spin
worry.
It again for
We're
the wheel.
Spinning it again. He already has his bumper sticker, which we do applaud, by the way. But we are we're going again. We're going again. No worries. We are going to do a retry on this. All right. Now, let's get you over to the wheel of destiny. Yes. I don't know if we want to call it that, but we'll think of something. All right. So here it is for the bumper sticker. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. All right, here we go. For the bumper sticker, and the winner is Cole Angelo. Yeah. Good friend, Cole Angelo. Yes. A fellow SMSU grad with us, Cole Angelo. He's been he's a fan of the show, I'd say. He's definitely tuned in. He's listening to the Sports Zone back at SMSU and whatnot. So Cole Angelo, our good friend Cole Angelo, congratulations. You have won a MinneZona bumper sticker, and we will get that to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So Cole Angelo gets the bumper sticker. Seymour goes, if this lands on him again, LOL. I know. No kidding. Oh, I can't believe that. Trev's the intern guy. Oh, God. All right. Fine. So, is it hat time? I believe it is. So,
hat time.
This is the last. Now, let me say this. These are so popular that this is the last MinneZona hat. So, we're going to have to get more after this. So, this is going to be interesting. If you're able to get the hat, hey, there you go. So, let's start rolling for the hat. And we almost landed on our guy, Troy Stoudemire. And you know who's in between there? Carlos Correa. So we came this close.
C4 would love a hat.
Yeah, I think you would. I think you'd enjoy that. So, all right, let's go. This is for the hat now. This is for the hat. Get ready. It better not be Trev that gets this one, too. I don't want to jinx myself. All right, here we go. This is for a MinneZona hat.
Come on for the hat.
Here we go. And survey says, Jeremy Richardson.
Yeah, Jay Rich is getting a hat. Let's go.
MinneZona hat. Congratulations, Jeremy. The guy that's on Yellowstone. That guy.
Yellowstone's finest. That's right, baby.
He is getting the last MinneZona hat. So congratulations to Jeremy. Congratulations to Cole Angelo. You guys, Cole's getting the bumper sticker. Jeremy's getting the MinneZona hat. So we're starting off pretty good.
Pretty good.
So I think it's time. It's time. This is for the limited edition MinneZona Sports Live shirt. Now, one thing I want to add to this, okay, is that it is an extra large shirt. Now, here's a couple options for you. One, we can swap that out for a regular MinneZona shirt. So
we do.
We can do, and that, or you can take it and give it to someone else or things like that. And we'll try to compensate you with like stickers or something if you want to give it on to someone else. But
a nice, firm high five.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea. We're cheap around. We're like the poll ads. We're just super cheap around here, you know.
Postage ain't cheap.
Yeah. That's true.
Same.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, let's get things going with the limited edition MinneZona Sports Live shirt. Honestly, I love it. I think it looks really good. So whoever gets it's going to get a really cool one.
Only 5 of these ever made.
That's true.
This is 5 of 5.
Yup.
Okay, we're doing it.
Let's do it. All right, here is for the limited edition. MinneZona shirt. Here we go.
Oh.
Go. There we go. All right, here we go. We're off and rolling. Who will it be? Jared Jensen.
Yeah!
Jared Jensen gets a limited edition MinneZona shirt. Congratulations to Jared Jensen. I'm glad this wheel works pretty well. I'm not going to lie.
Pretty well.
I'm not going to lie. So, Jared Jensen, congratulations. You're getting a limited edition MinneZona shirt. And if that doesn't work, we can also give you the regular shirt as well. So, with that being said, in honor of our 150th episode from last week, I think this wheel thing works pretty well. I'm not. Well, you know what? Wait a minute. It worked well after we re-rolled and made sure that we went.
Sometimes you got to spin it a couple of times to make sure everything's working correct. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I love how they're saying it's all rigged and things like that. It's like, hey, I just found something online, and that's how we're gonna do it. We're just gonna let the thing roll and whatnot. But we appreciate everyone that's been in, and if your name didn't pop in there, let us know, because we do want to do this again. So, congratulations to Cole Angelo for the bumper sticker. And then after that, we got our guy Jeremy Richardson with the hat, and Jared Jensen gets the limited edition shirt.
Before we go, Callahan, our next segment as well, if you still want a sticker or one of our regular shirts as well, you can still buy them. We got the stickers. Small ones are $2, and our big bumper stickers, $3. It does not include shipping and handling. That's perfectly fine. We will ship them out to you. We will mail them to you as well. We still have the stickers, small ones. Again, you know, these little guys here.
Yeah.
And then these guys here.
Yep.
$2. These ones, $3. Okay?
Pretty
Just letting you know on that. And we still do have some of the regular shirts, too. If I was smarter, I would have been better with my show and tell here presentation. But let me grab one of the regular shirts here for everyone to take a look at as well.
Pretty nice. 5 out of 5 stars.
Yep.
No bad reviews.
No bad reviews. So one of our regular shirts here. There you go. Just like that. This regular dry fit athletic shirt. $20, $5 shipping. No problem whatsoever. So basically $25, including shipping. You can still get them. We still have a limited number. We'll have to reach out to our winner here first. See if he wants the XL or a different size too. But we will let you all know on that.
We will. And this won't be the last time we do this, because this was pretty fun. So, do people still think it's rigged? That's the question. So,
better giveaway coming up.
Omni Entertainment says, "Let me know when you get new hats, because I want one of those." We got you. Hey,
we're working on it.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. I was on Popcorn Bucket List, so we'll make sure we got that going for you. So, yes, the hats are fantastic. 5 out of 5 stars, too. A lot of people still wear them. This is Papa Callahan's, but he let me use them. Wink, wink. I just stole it. So make sure that you keep in tune, because we probably will get more. And there might be some new stuff coming your way as well. So be on the lookout. All right. Well, with that being said, Voldy, the party doesn't stop here.
Ooh.
And the thing is, Voldy and zoners, when we first started MinneZona Sports Live Sports Zone, Voldy and I kind of came up with this with the segment of the infamous Jameis, right?
Yes.
And it started out with famous Jameis, and like, why don't we make this into a segment? So then we decided, we made it into a segment. Jameis was always at the top, and things like that. And then we've added some more people. So obviously, infamous Jameis is the first inductee of the Hall of Shame, and our next inductee is one, the only. Yes, his name is Johnny Football. So, Jameis Winston already in. John Manziel, whatever you want to call him, it doesn't matter. We can do either or. He is going to be inducted into the Hall of Shame next, and we'll just kind of talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about just kind of how his downfall started, and things like that. We'll just kind of bring up examples and and whatnot. So, with that being said, it's time for the Hall of Shame.
Here's the list no one wants to be on. Infamous Top 10.
All right, so it is time, Voldy Zoners, for the Hall of Shame.
Hall of Shame.
It's not a place you necessarily want to be, but it is a place that you have to be on. I mean, if you're a guy like Daniel Snyder, if you're a guy like the one, the only John Manziel.
Oh, look at that.
You're honored in some way, but you're dishonored a lot. A lot of you guys are dishonored. I mean, granted, you do some stupid stuff. Now, with that being said, Voldy, we induct Johnny Football into the Hall of Shame. I want to start with. We'll give him some claps here. We'll give him some claps. Voldy, let's start off with this. Why did we have Johnny Football in the Hall of Shame? Well, one, he was never number one. That's for sure. But he has been on the list like almost every week we've done in Top 10 and Famous list.
Yep.
So, Voldy, can you just kind of explain a little bit of why, a couple examples why he is in the Hall of Shame? What do you got?
Well, we should probably take it back first to when we were first introduced to one John Manziel. Simple freshman quarterback out of Texas A&M University. The debut, if you will, of them in the Southeastern Conference, the SEC, where the big boys play. And he took the world by storm. Yep. Freshman coming in, putting up gaudy numbers, beating Alabama on the road, at home, making big-time plays in appearances with every flick of the wrist, with every scramble in the pocket, making Mike Evans a household name since the very first snap of the football, those two coming and connecting together. It was love at first sight. The casual football fan, Johnny Manziel, how you doing? Keep her moving. Goes on to win the Heisman. At that point, the very first freshman ever to win the Heisman Trophy. And then at that point, the floodgates open for all freshmen to win the Heisman Trophy. Goes on another year playing at Texas A&M, eventually gets drafted into the NFL. Of course, where all quarterbacks go to die, that being Cleveland Browns. Had multiple chances. The moments that really stick out in my mind in his career, and it really boils down to one thing in his time in the Cleveland Browns uniform. Monday Night Football, I forget if it was a regular season or preseason game in Washington. Ends up flipping the bird to the Washington sideline. Boom. Right there. Main camera. National television. Gotta love Johnny Manziel. Didn't really have the same playmaking ability that we saw at Texas A&M. At least from the fact because, well, NFL defenses are the best of the best of the best. Even when they stink, still some of the best of the best of the best in football. Hence why they're playing and other guys aren't too. Bounced around from that point. He goes to Canada. Hamilton Tiger Cats. Montreal Alouettes as well for a season and a half, if not 2 seasons, in the Great White North of Canada. At that point, he leaves football for a little bit, ends up trying to make a comeback. I think he was in the AAF for those few weeks playing for a team.
Yeah.
And he left, or vice versa. He left football, came to the AAF, and that folded within like 3 weeks of its existence. Can't wait for that 30 for 30 to come up. I'm sure that's going to be fantastic. Ends up playing in the Spring League as well, which is kind of before the USFL and the XFL came back. That was kind of the spring way to get onto NFL rosters before a training camp. And then bouncing back and forth, golf course, nightclubs, living his best life. Ends up playing the Fan Control League or whatever that thing was called for a hot second, him and Bob Menery. But now he's just a dude now. He's just a regular dude. Apparently there's going to be a Johnny Manziel Netflix documentary coming out sometime soon, too.
Yes.
Looking forward to that coming out and see that big downfall. But from the very first game, Texas A&M to, of course, him in the NFL, Canada, the Spring League, the AAF, the fan-controlled league, or whatever, the FCF, or whatever that was called, to him bouncing back and forth, legal troubles, drunken Instagram videos, him on the golf course, and everything in between, just never really materialized into being an NFL star of what he very well could have been. But from that point, I think we were all more interested in the downfall than it was the meteoric rise that was of Johnny Football, Johnny Bench, Johnny Clipboard, Johnny everything. Johnny everything from that point. It was just not going to work. And I'm still very thankful for all the times that we said the Vikings should have drafted Johnny Manziel, that they didn't, because dodged a major bullet in that time for that as well. But you know what? Johnny Manziel always will still have a big, big place in our hearts here at MinneZona Sports Live, and thus why he is in the Hall of Shame.
Just kind of to add to that, I just wanted to quick...
Jameis jersey. It should be up there, too.
That's a good point. I did not think of that. Anyway, he'll be up there. The one thing that, I'm going to add to, we can talk about him being obviously a bust. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Seymour makes a good point, too. Remember when the Vikings just about traded up to get Johnny Manziel, which was very true.
Bingo.
I just think that it would have, been a disaster if the Minnesota Vikings went up and gotten Johnny Manziel. I just think Zimmer doesn't like the whole hoopla around him. I think that was his first year. Yeah, I think that was one of his first years when that draft happened. It didn't make sense for the Vikings to do that. I just think him and Zimmer wouldn't have gotten along. I just think that he wasn't in the right mind space, or the mindset of being a NFL quarterback, and he just didn't have that. He loved, showing how good he was. The money sign, even though the money sign is now mine, I've trademarked it. So he said he gave it up, and I'm taking it from him. So,
boom.
There we go. That's how we got it. But a lot of people think that he's very arrogant. He thought, hey, I'm just going to prove people wrong. He's a rare talent. He makes plays. But the fact is that he not only when he was drafted by the Browns, yeah, he wrecked it in college, but he got wrecked in the NFL. And I mean that figuratively and literally, because he, instead of, doing what most young quarterbacks do and studying the playbook and staying after to, learn plays, things like that, Johnny was out drinking and Johnny was out partying. So it's disappointing. And then you have that domestic assault deal that was, I think he wasn't found guilty per se or anything like that, but something tells me that he definitely, there was definitely something weird there too. So, but I will say, and this isn't something that I necessarily think of Johnny Manziel thinking like, oh, he was a bust, he was just terrible and whatnot. I almost kind of look at this and he thought, this isn't for me, and I like the lifestyle that I want to have. And, when you have Drake making a song about you, when you're part of the OVO clique, when you're part of all this other stuff, all the hoopla behind being that good of a quarterback in college, he gets to the NFL and he thinks he can live that same lifestyle, and he couldn't. And that's the sad part about it. And do I think he could have been good if he put in the work? The thing is, Johnny thought, I have enough talent, I don't need to put in the work. Well, actually, you do. This is the NFL, bud. You can't just think, oh, this is going to be just like college. No, it's not at all. And you could see, people making fun of them, doing the, money sign and whatnot. You kind of feel bad, but at the same time, if you're not going to be serious about being an NFL quarterback, especially a franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, you probably shouldn't party. You probably shouldn't do things like you thought you would. So he was a bust, and that's why he's in the Hall of Shame, is antics like that. But I want to say it seems like he's doing very well. It seems like he's happy where he's at.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, maybe tone it down on the partying. I don't know. You just don't want to see something bad happen is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Manziel's biggest enemy was himself. Biggest ego, yup. Self-centered, yup. Kind of glad it didn't work out for him, yup. So, Jason, our good guy Jason Schmitz, shout out to him putting that on.
It's not like he didn't have help around him.
Right. And that's the thing.
The one play I remember of him going over to the sideline and coaches where he had Kyle Shanahan, he had Mike McDaniel when they were nobodies.
Yep.
Helping him out, and look at those guys are both head coaches right now, winning NFL head coaches when they were offensive assistants on the Browns for Pete's sake. Yeah, Mike Pettin. He was he head coach at the time?
Yeah, he was head coach, and the thing is that even after he was fired, well, the thing is, I feel like that's kind of unfair because he's like, well, I'm forced to play this guy.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it. And and like Jason said, he's got a big ego. He thinks he can, get away with everything. But the thing is Johnny couldn't. You can get away with it in college, but now that you're in the NFL, you're not going to get away with much.
Because his backup in Cleveland, wasn't it Dan Orlovsky, his backup, I think? Because I remember big, tall guy, number 6. It was either him or it was Brian Hoyer, I think.
Deshaun Kaiser, maybe?
It was a few years, or it might have been a couple years, at least 1 year, 1 to 2 years. I want to say it was Dan.
Can help us out.
Help us out here, zoners. Browns fans, let us help us out. I want to say it was Orlovsky, but I have no idea. So
he was still playing.
Yeah, I think that might have been one of his last years. I have zero idea. Let us know, zoners.
All right, Seymour says Manziel is the perfect example of social media building you up to a point where you lose sight of who you really are. Yes! He killed that. Oh! Here's what I got. Hoyer's Heroes.
Yep.
Brian Hoyer.
Boom.
So there we go. He was going to be, and then, what happened. I think he got injured, if I'm not mistaken, Voldy or something, probably. And that's how Johnny Football hopped in there. But, Seymour and Jason said it perfectly. I mean, the guy was hyped up, and you let social media take over, and he was very controversial. The middle finger thing, I think, was the absolute beginning of the end. And, he just, people say, shouldn't you tone it down? And he just kind of would shy away from it. He really wouldn't say much.
Yeah.
Another thing, McCown. Josh McCown was
Josh
quarterback
McCown.
at the time.
There we go. That was another one. Yep.
So, yep. Seymour, Hoyer, Manziel, two guys. They're total opposite personalities. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
because
just
Hoyer's a winner.
that's just the Browns in general. They're just so dysfunctional. Worse than Randy Moss mooning the Packers. Wow. Anyway, so I look at that and say, well, I'm glad Johnny's doing well. He was very entertaining to watch when he was in college football, but I just think his ego, his lack of being prepared for games and things like that, is what really done him in. And the Browns add another name to the list of guys that were played quarterback. So there you go. So congratulations, or I don't know. I don't even know if we say congratulations, but
cheers.
Cheers to Johnny Manziel. Yeah, cheers. Exactly. That makes more sense. Cheers to our guy Johnny Manziel into the Hall of Shame with infamous Jameis. And
proud of you.
If you ever tune in, we'd love to give you some merch. And it's all in good fun. Exactly. There's a lot of guys that are on this list.
Idiots. I don't care. Come on the show. Come on the show.
We've asked Kyrie. We've asked KD.
Come on the show. Prove us wrong. Come on the show.
Exactly. So that'll do it for the Hall of Shame, our first ever. And we'll keep doing it. We'll add more to the list. Let us know who you guys want to see on our list. Or if you want to make your own list, please feel free to do so. We'd love to see what you guys think and who you think should be on there. So we'll add more to the Hall of Shame very soon. All right, Voldy, let's get going with some ARA. We've got some baseball with the Twins. We got some football with the Vikings. And there's been some news in the NFL. DeAndre is a free agent. Wow. Watch out. So, anyway, let's get it going. Let's approve.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
All right, it is time for Absurd or Approved. So, Voldy, why don't you rattle them off for us, please?
Well, it's been quite some time since we mentioned the Minnesota Twins, and especially a phenomenal player that they had in short spurts over his career, that being Royce Lewis. Now, it was May 29th, 2021, when unfortunately the player that was to be one of the cornerstones of the rebuilding franchise, if you will, or at least turning into a new era, injured himself in a debut, of course, that, ultimately tore his ACL. Fast forward 1 year later, the surgery, the recovery, the rehab, getting back to baseball activities. Royce Lewis has one of the best debuts that you could have for a player as well, for the Minnesota Twins. He homers with 4 RBIs and helps the Twins come back for a victory, 7-5 over the Houston Astros as well. Especially the fact that he was playing in an unnatural position, playing in the outfield, when he did hurt himself when he was a shortstop drafted, playing a lot of the infield coming up as well, and took him out of position and ultimately led to injury. But with him coming back in the lineup, the way things have been turning around here for the Twins as of late, especially with a lot of the youth of the team that's come through to help keep the Twins afloat, picking up wins against some very good teams as well, and also getting a lot of help from the pitching as well. Now, we saw something similar last season with Jose Miranda when he finally got called up, and has been a mainstay with the Twins up until the last few weeks when he got sent back down to AAA to kind of figure a few things out, as with the swing, hitting as well overall. But now with Royce Lewis finally back on the team, healthy from the ACL tear last season, playing in the infield as well, with Carlos Correa experiencing some injuries, a big hole at third base currently right now as well. Could this be, with Royce Lewis back in the Twins, in the lineup as well, could this have a similar impact, Royce Lewis, in 2023 compared to what Jose Miranda had for the Twins in 2022? Is that absurd or approved?
Well, his first game back, he played very well. It's really cool to see him back in the lineup. I don't know of many athletes that have torn their ACL twice in the same knee, and that's insane in itself. But I will say that I think he will have a similar impact, if not better. They drafted him, was it 2017?
2017.
Yeah, 2017. And it's such a process before a top prospect is actually ready for the big leagues and things like that.
Well, the funny thing is, as well as, sorry to cut you off there, but like he tears his ACL the first time. I think that was 2019.
Yeah.
So he missed out that season. 2020 comes around. Well, we know all happened in 2020. Wasn't even part of the taxi squad. No minor league season. 2021. So basically, he's missed 2 years of professional baseball. Has to basically relearn everything, if you will, for lack of a better phrase, in the minor leagues for 2021. Gets to 2022. Hey, he's on the team and he's making an impact, and ends up tearing his ACL. But yeah, that's the crazy part of it all.
And he has that. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, and I think, especially when he was down in the AAA and whatnot, he was electric, and that's what the Twins need right now, because the bats are, for lack of a better word, kind of stale. I went to the Twins game on Sunday, and the pitching's not bad. Bailey Ober pitched very well. They gave up, was it 3-4 runs or something like that, but he pitched very well in that game. The Twins they only had like 4 or 5 hits, and you're going to need more than that to win games. So having Royce Lewis back in the lineup, fully healthy, and especially the way that he has started, his trip back to the major leagues, and obviously he's been playing well. But again, there's a part of you that thinks, is he injury prone? Is this like a Buxton deal here? Hopefully not. We don't want we want him to be healthy and whatnot. So his second ACL tear was in his previously injured knee, or his opposite knee. No, his previously injured. So like it was the same knee, same leg, and everything like that. So what was repaired got torn again, which is crazy in itself. Seymour, but it's got my stamp of approval. I think it might be. It's going to be as good, if not better. Voldy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is only going to be a positive for the Twins, too, because we all know the fact that, I mean, I hate to say it, but, he's 23 years old. He's only going to get better.
True. Yeah.
And, we do have Carlos Correa, to have him locked up for that nice long contract. But, he's got some injuries. Sometimes he needs a day off, or maybe he needs a DH for a day, something to at least keep him in the lineup. But you know what? Maybe Royce Lewis could play some short. Maybe he could play some third, switch him over to second base as well. A lot of different things that he's been working on in the last, obviously since the, from spring training into the start of the season as well, down at AAA now that he's back with the ball club too, with the big team. I mean, there are some holes. There are a lot of areas of concern, but especially, I think it was maybe about a month ago or so, Donovan Solano was the leading hitter for the Twins with a 263 batting average. Yeah. That is sad on so many parts as well. Byron Buxton, are we looking at that same situation with high draft prospect, low return on it so far, a man of glass, a lot of injuries. When he's healthy, he's 100%. He's an MVP type candidate. Could we be doomed to face that same fate as well? I certainly hope not, but the fact that he's only 23 and he's still making plays and still, I mean, the fact that it's 2023, he's 23 right now. So when he was drafted, he was 17 years old. I mean, that's just even more crazy to think about how high of a ceiling he has already. And he's already at the major league level at such a young age. Long of the days have been since, obviously Bryce Harper and Mike Trout, the 20-year-olds coming up and, playing, 150 games or whatever. Well, that has yet to be seen. I know there's a kid for San Diego who's 16 years old, and he's making, I think, his AA debut or something here tonight as well. He's the first, 2006 born player in minor league baseball right now. We're just not getting any younger in that regard, too. But I see how this could be an impact because he can play the multiple positions. He's a top of the order, bottom of the order guy that the Twins need a little bit of that thump from. And obviously, he can hit the long ball. He can, spray the ball around, too. He's got fairly good defense. I see this as a big-time stamp of approval with him having the same impact the way Miranda did last season.
But in the back of your mind and everyone's mind too is like, just, stay healthy. That's all we care about. Mm-hmm. And Seymour adds too, that dude is going to have arthritis in his knee by age 35. It's very true. I mean, to re-tear it again is just insane in the same knee. So, yes, I was actually just about to say that the Twins right now, bases loaded, no outs, so hopefully they can get something going here. Julian is up to bat now, so we'll keep an eye on that, keep you up to date on the game. So stamp approvals all around. All right, next one, Vilde.
So we move on now, of course, with tomorrow, June 1st, the big deadline, and obviously there's going to be a lot of trimming the fat across the NFL landscape. And one team that's in a situation where there could be some trimming and some adding, fattening their pockets, if you will, is the Minnesota Vikings. And one of them in a situation where positions are a key factor is the running back situation as well. Youth coming up. We've got one guy at the top who's been at the top the last few years, not getting any younger, not getting a whole lot healthier on those quick turnarounds as well from end of season into the next season as well. But head coach for the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, came out and says that he sees backup running back Alexandermattison as an every down back amid the fact that Minnesota Vikings fans, front office, I can't speak for you, but speaking for myself, the fact that Dalvin Cook is still your number one running back, and yet it seems that everybody, jumped ship off Dalvin Cook about 7-8 months ago before the season was even over too, and are looking at Alexandermattison being the number one running back. And it certainly is interesting the fact that he did say, Kevin O'Connell that is, seeing Alexandermattison as being a guy who can be an every down, 3-down back as well. Do you find it absurd or approve Kevin O'Connell's comments about being the 3-down back as well and every down back as well? But the real question is, who do you see as the 3-down back for the Minnesota Vikings right now? Alexandermattison or Dalvin Cook?
The Twins just scored, by the way. Solano hit a single to right.
Oh, look at that.
2-0. So, hey, go Twins.
Talk about Donovan Solano. There you go. He comes and delivers.
There you go. Let's go,
what
baby.
What a fun world to live in.
Kirilloff up right now, and runners on third and first. So, hopefully they keep us going. Only one out. Yeah, so, man, I just wish they'd, just either make a decision on this quickly or not. And there's been all of these cryptic, I should say cryptic comments, cryptic tweets / Instagram stories / Dalvin covering the Viking logo, them not fully committing with Dalvin, or there's just so much confusion right now. But the fact that KOC has said he can be an every down back, he's doing great, things like that. I mean, it's not uncommon for someone to say that about a backup running back, right? I mean, because a lot of these guys are either really good or they it depends on what they're going to do with Cook. And it happens, it's going to happen tomorrow.
Yep.
And it's either they're going to release him, or they're going to trade him, or they're going to restructure his deal there. I'm kind of leaning more towards they'll probably get rid of him. And I don't like saying that because I really do like Dalvin Cook. I think that he's still a very good NFL running back. But I just feel like management's not fully sold. And I think KOC, Kwesi feel the same way in this situation. So, it's a tough one. But I think it's going to be Mattison. I hate to say it because it's just there's too much going on right now to think that Dalvin's coming back and everything's going to be great. Well, he wasn't at OTAs.
Right.
And granted, I know it's just OTAs, and we talked about that with Jefferson, but at the same time,
still means something.
It still means something somewhat. So, who would I want as my 3-down running back? I guess, I would pick Cook just because he's got the explosiveness and everything like that. I just hope with Mattison, the only knock that I have, and I really do like Mattison, is him not making the cuts like he's supposed to. And we've seen in games where he just kind of goes, picks one, and goes. Things start to form. You've got to make sure you have a cutback lane, and you notice that as a running back. But, it is what it is with that. But, yeah, I'd probably say Mattison. I think they're moving on from Dalvin. So, I'd say it's got my stamp of approval, but I lightly put that down because I still got so much respect for Dalvin and what he's done. So, Voldy, what do you think?
I see it from a lot of different angles. Me personally, I want Dalvin Cook as my number 1 running back right now. You have a solid 2 with Alexander Mattison. Can he be a number 1 running back? Sure. But you got to have a solid number 3 coming up. I know Kene Nwangwu as well. He is a guy that wants to get more touches out of the backfield because they're not going to give him the ball on kickoffs because kickoffs are now going to be a foregone conclusion at this point too. Yeah. I also see it from the front office standpoint. He's going to make it $12.5 million in cap space if they release him coming up here with June 1st and everything. So that's going to be at least enough to be part of the Jefferson deal as well. Maybe go out and get another guy at the same point too, especially with how much offense they're going to be having here this season too. In the receiving game alone, obviously Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne. You got Jordan Addison that they just drafted as well. And they got TJ Hawkinson, not to even to throw that out there as well. And he's a gall-darn tight end. He's still one heck of a player as well. I mean, they've got him under control for at least a few more seasons. And I see it because obviously you throw in the fact that, you get to a certain point with running backs as well. I mean, the lifespan of a running back is just further and further away from what it used to be because running backs just take so much more punishment. I mean, he's had shoulder troubles the last couple seasons. He's already had ACL tear. He's had a lot of injuries. I know that he had shoulder surgery. Was it that this off season or the off season before?
I think it was this off season.
Yeah, I think it was this off season. So he's got hopefully a recovered shoulder as well coming in. But I just see it from. Maybe this is also a standpoint where the front office, especially with Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and the head coach now going into their second season together, first full off season, trimming the fat of, past regimes, past head coaches, past front offices as well, getting rid of their guys so they can have their guys come in, getting rid of those guys to bring in their guys to build the team that they want. And unfortunately, it's going to come down to, we'll find out probably 24 hours from now. We'll see probably not even 12 hours from now before the sun even comes up. There'll probably be some sort of decision. But who's going to be my 3-down back? I would love to say it's going to be Dalvin Cook, but I would not be surprised if he goes out and he gets released and ends up turning his career around or has somewhat of a career, I'm not going to say resurgence, but goes to a team, they do well, maybe goes and wins himself a Super Bowl somewhere, a la Leonard Fournette when he went from Jacksonville to Tampa Bay, could have some sort of production with that too. I mean, he's going to be a very solid number 2 running back, if not 1A, with any other team. But he's still a Viking right now. I want him as my 3-down back right now. But wouldn't be mad if Alexander Mattison is our number 1, so...
Yep, it's going to be interesting, and either way, I'm fine with it. I just, I just really like Dalvin as a person too. So it's kind of tough. It's tough.
Absolutely.
But. All right, next one, Voldy.
So we finally get to talk finals, hockey. No, we're not talking basketball right now. That's still to come here with MinneZona Sports Live. Stanley Cup Finals. It's an all-Southern matchup out of the Eastern Conference, the 8th seed. The children of destiny, those pesky cats down in South Florida, that being the Florida Panthers, who took down the best team in NHL history to begin their playoff season. But the Florida Panthers are going to be taking on those crazy kids out west in Sin City, that being the Vegas Golden Knights. Second ever Stanley Cup Finals appearance, and I think 5-6 seasons of their total existence. But that is the matchup that we have for the Stanley Cup Final, and is going to be a very interesting Stanley Cup Final as well, with it all being Southern, all being warmer climates as well. NHL, the old heads of the NHL are probably turning in their graves right now because no original 6 teams are in, or Canadian teams for that matter, in the Stanley Cup Final. But looking at it, we got some questions to ask. Who is winning the Stanley Cup? How many games? Who is your Conn Smythe MVP for the Stanley Cup Finals? DJ Matty C.
Well, I almost feel like this magical run by the Panthers is going to end at some point. With the Vegas Knights, I feel like they're more complete. But granted, with Boston, they proved everybody wrong. They were able to take down Boston. I mean, no offense to your Bruins, but I just look at the Knights and I feel like this is their time. And you look at where they pretty much started off. Was it 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, or something, Voldy? Yep. So I like the way that they've played. Now the thing is obviously that's kind of a rival with our Minnesota Wild and whatnot, and you should be pulling for the Panthers, but I just feel like they have a lot of, they're on a roll, and they almost kind of lost it to the Stars there for a second, but I feel like they were able to, I feel like they've been able to kind of overcome that. That's why I'm going to say Vegas Knights in 6. Especially, they destroyed them too to advance, or destroyed Dallas 6-0. That was rough. Who's gonna be my Conn Smythe? There's a couple guys that I'm looking at right now, and I it's kind of. How about this? Conn Smythe, Alex Pietrangelo. Let's go with Pietrangelo. See where that goes, and hopefully
How many games?
Right. 6 games. 6 games. Vegas in 6, I say. So that's what I got. Voldy, what do you got?
See, I am all about the team of destiny. Unfortunately, I got to give all credit to the Florida Panthers. If we've seen playoffs in any sport over the last, we'll say 15, 17 years, ever since they started implementing the wild card in any sports, whether it be, with baseball, with the NFL, and even, you throw in the quirkiness of the play-in games too. Those teams that literally play one game at a time to keep playing, otherwise they go home for the rest, those teams have had the most success. Those teams that have just barely got into the playoffs, hey, we're glad to be here, let's go win the whole stinking thing. Those teams have seen the most great success. I'm looking at this Florida team right now, and I look at their whole lineup and their whole team too. A lot of those guys have been in Florida, especially with how good they were. I think it was either 1 or 2 seasons ago. They were the best team in the NHL. Lost out of the first round to Tampa Bay, who went on to win the Stanley Cup as well. And those guys have stuck right around. They have probably the most experienced group that they could possibly have. Of course, we have seen Sergei Bobrovsky have a career resurgence in Florida as well. He's been playing out of his mind this season too. I'm looking at their lineup right now. I mean, you got 2 of the 3 Stahl brothers, Mark and Eric, former Wild player. Still a chance for a Minnesota player to win the Stanley Cup this season. Former Wild player to win the Stanley Cup. So we've got to at least Eric Stahl on there. Aaron Ekblad, who's been there probably the longest in Florida, too. He was drafted by them. He's played for a lot of bad years, a lot of half-empty arenas, and he's held his own. And the fact that they went out this offseason, Florida, traded for Tkachuk, that being Matthew Tkachuk, I think it is. Yes, Matthew Tkachuk. And Matthew Tkachuk has played superhero from the very go in this entire playoff season. So I'm taking Florida in 6 games. Conn Smythe winner. I said it before they even won the Eastern Conference. I've got Matthew Tkachuk as my Conn Smythe winner. And also another factor, you look in which team touched the conference championship trophy, which team didn't touch it. Florida touched the trophy, and also Vegas did not touch the trophy. So I'm going with that, as Florida is the Stanley Cup champion. Second time ever that they've been in the Stanley Cup Finals, all the way back. 1996 was the last time that they were in the Stanley Cup Finals, way back in the days when they were playing in Miami Arena. And that's who I've got winning the Stanley Cup. As much as it pains me to say, I think Florida here has got a real good chance if Sergei Bobrovsky continues to play the way that he's done this entire postseason, that they are going to win the Stanley Cup.
We shall see. We'll see who's going to come out with the W, even though I don't really want to see Vegas win. I'd be fine with Florida. I don't have a problem with it, but I just feel like the Knights have kind of figured it out. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, from one finals to another finals. Voldy?
That's right. We're going to be talking the NBA Finals here for all those NBA fans out there. Let us know who you've got winning the NBA Finals. So the Denver Nuggets made light work of the Los Angeles Lakers to claim the Western Conference, while Miami almost didn't make it in there once again, as coming out of the Eastern Conference as a team not very heavily favored, had to go through some of those play-in games to even get to this point. Now out of the Eastern Conference, they are in the finals once again, and I think the second time in 2 years, I think, because they were in the bubble too, and they made the finals against the Lakers. But we're going to see the Miami Heat, Jimmy Buckets against Jokic, the Joker, and the Nuggets. Odds on Nuggets by 1,000 apparently, or by 1,000,000 in that series. But who do you see winning the NBA Finals? Who do you got in how many games, and who do you see as Finals MVP?
You know, Minnesota sports fans. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm just going to talk about it, and then I'll kind of get to it. But I'm just going to say this right now. Jimmy Butler is one heck of an NBA player. He's probably a top 10 player in the league. If no ifs, ands, or buts, okay? What he has done with this team has been nothing short of fantastic. And I have to give credit where credit is due from that. And there's been a lot of talk that, Jimmy was right about Cat. Jimmy was right about Andrew Wiggins. Jimmy was right. We've kind of moved past that. We try to forget about it. Obviously, you have the blow-up with the practice and everything. That story gets resurfaced again with Jeff Teague, and then it keeps going on. Cat responds, all that. So, for the Wolves and for the sake of my take that I had early in season 1, when we had MinneZona Sports Live, the rant that I went on calling Jimmy Butler a snake, and he planned this. They offered him the max before Wiggins and Cat. Just remember that. He declined. Just saying. So then he didn't want to be here, all that and whatnot. Granted, I'm not putting all the blame on Jimmy Butler because the Wolves could have handled it 10 times better, but that's just where we are. Now, let's just kind of fast forward here. If the Heat end up winning, Voldy, I think I have to do an apology segment. I hate to do it.
Oh.
I hate to do it. I might have to do an apology segment because he's brought them to the finals not once but twice. Here's what I'm feeling good about. They've been there, but have they won it? They have not. Now, people are comparing him to Michael Jordan. Come on, we're not even. They're not even in the same league. Michael Jordan is absolute legend. Jimmy Butler, yes, he's gotten him to the finals, and the mindset that he has is like he didn't even hold the Eastern Conference Finals trophy. He said, "I want to hold the next one," which I can respect. I do respect that.
Absolutely.
So we got that, but yes, we might have to do an apology segment if they do end up winning the finals, and I will have to give that to Jimmy Butler, tag him, and say, okay, all right, I see you. Now, although the Denver Nuggets, I look at Voldy, and let's remember, I think we might have said this on the show. Zaps might have alluded to it a little bit too. But the Nuggets were supposed to be the weakest 1 seed.
Yep.
Are they weak now? They're not very weak, are they? Jokic has been on a tear. The guy is on fire right now. Jamal Murray coming back from a terrible injury from last year, comes back this year, and he's playing lights out. They have a bunch of role players that are able to, come off the bench. Aaron Gordon, for gosh sake. He was more of he just is only for the dunks and maybe a couple 3-pointers here and there. No, he's a very, very good player for the Denver Nuggets. And I look at this Denver Nuggets team and I feel like there's too much firepower. You look at what the Heat have done. Jimmy's been kind of shouldering a lot of the load. But you look at Caleb Martin, who's played lights out in this whole playoff series. Will that start to fizzle? Will it? Will it not? We'll see. And let's remember that the Heat almost gave up a 3-0 deficit. Okay, let's not forget that. If Jason Tatum doesn't get hurt in Game 7, maybe we're talking about a different thing here. Now, I just feel like the Nuggets have more firepower. I think they're going to win their first title. But I'm kind of, I don't feel great about it because I don't know. I just don't want to see this happen with Jimmy Butler and him winning a finals. We can't let it happen. And Voldy, we can't add another to the list. So I'm going to go Denver. I'm going to go Denver in, let's go 6. I feel like we always go 6, but I feel 6 just because I feel like when they go to Miami, they'll struggle a little bit because, rowdy crowd, Jimmy playing well and whatnot.
Changing altitude, changing time zones, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. So, Dylan Kilpatrick says, I hate closing every Wednesday. I miss every week. Gosh, well, you know what? You should just
change your schedule.
Change your schedule, bro. We got you.
Don't work Wednesdays.
We'll try and work something out for you, Dylan. I promise. I got the Nuggets in 6 and MVP. You know what? Let's just go with the obvious one. Let's just go with Jokic. Yeah. I think he's going to be a problem for Adebayo. I don't know if Adebayo can handle what Jokic is going to do. So, Voldy, what do you think?
I always, when we get to this point of the season in any sort of fashion, when it comes to the finals or the conference championships, I'm always looking for the story within the story itself. And I have come out with 2. We should christen this NBA finals the Birdman finals because we all know this. The Birdman Anderson got his start in the league with the Nuggets, won titles with the Heat as well. So
he did.
The Birdman finals are on with the Nuggets and the Heat playing as well. And also another thing as well, if the Nuggets do go on and win the NBA championship as well, the Nuggets should be very thankful and at least send a kind note, if not a bottle of finest champagne or something as well, to the Minnesota Timberwolves because, well, in the fact that the Timberwolves can at least have a feather in their cap saying, hey, at least we lost in the playoffs to the eventual NBA champions. But looking at this matchup as well, obviously, we did see with the Miami Heat too, their team, they've got their backs against the wall from every jump in any fashion whatsoever, especially playing in those play-in games, and of course having to play against the Bulls in the prior to their playoff opener as well in that elimination play-in game. Now to get them to this point too, with this group of players that they have. I mean, we haven't seen Udonis Haslem step on the floor pretty much at all, and I'd love to see him go out with a title too.
Sure.
But unfortunately, at the expense of probably Jimmy Butler playing the finals of his career, to get to that point too is going to take some otherworldly talent. They are looking to get Tyler Hero back as well, who was the sixth man of the year last season for them, but is yet to see any official announcement on that. On the other side, I'm looking at here with Denver. We all know that, Jokic is going to be the focus of the offense. The way Jamal Murray is played here, especially the way they closed out in the Western Conference Finals against Lakers too. Look out for him to have a big series as well.
Yeah.
He is definitely, you got that nice 1-2 combo. You've got at least two guys that one gets shut down or one's having a bad night. The other one can certainly step up. That happens on the other side with the Heat too. But I'm looking at, there is just overwhelming odds in favor of Denver to not only win, but to make mincemeat of the Miami Heat too. But I certainly could see them stealing a game, stealing 2 games maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if they go 7, but I'm definitely seeing 6 for this one with, obviously, I'm going to go Denver as the NBA champions as well. Again, would not be, like, it's basketball. I really care. I really don't care all that much. I'm not surprised if Miami does. I just don't want to see, Jimmy Buckets go out there and win a title. I'd love to see Udonis Haslem go with the title. But again, that comes at the expense of Jimmy Buckets playing, of course, to win the title as well. I got Denver. I've got 6. My MVP, again, it's definitely got to be Jokic on this one as well. So,
it would have to be Murray's probably definitely a close second. But the thing is, for some reason, he's been able to pretty much destroy teams, throughout these playoffs. So we got that. But Jared says, blame Perk for this Jokic run. Those comments had to motivate him. Yeah.
Yep.
He's an MVP, and I think he's been pretty much MVP of these playoffs. So I got Denver in 6. But Voldy, one thing before we move on to the next one.
Yeah.
I could see this as a sweep. I really could see this as a sweep. And if it is a sweep, I'm telling you right now, I'm taking the dustpan and I'm taking the broom and I'm putting Jimmy's name on there just to push it in. No.
Jimmy Dust Buckets.
Yeah. Jimmy Dust Buckets. Hey, look, there's that Alex. I thought he was going to ask us about Cole. Where's Munson? You ask Munson. How about that? But he says Nuggets in 5.
Who are you? I don't even know you. He doesn't even go here.
There we go. But appreciate you tuning in, Alex. We love your comments on asking where Munson's at. So, yeah. All right. Last one, Volde.
Well, we go back to the NFL here, and you know what? Even ahead of the June 1st deadline for movements of some teams as well, the Arizona Cardinals decide, you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to release one of the best players in the receiving core, at least top 5, if not top 3 receiver in the NFL. That being DeAndre-Hopkins. They let go this past week, saving the team just under $31 million, which ranks among the most of the NFL wide receivers and 7th highest overall in the entire league. That's for all players, not just wide receivers. So with that, the Arizona Cardinals let go DeAndre-Hopkins. Now he is available to go anywhere, and you know what? Maybe join another team and see if they can make something happen. Unfortunately, the experiment the last 3 seasons in the desert with Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately, just didn't work, and especially with that humongously one-sided trade that the Cardinals won in definite favor of the Houston Texans for that trade as well. Brings a lot of things to mind. There are some teams floating around there that could use the services of a one DeAndre-Hopkins. Seems like there have been some interest from the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, the New England Patriots, among a few other teams as well. But looking at what we have with DeAndre-Hopkins, I don't know why I put Derek Hopkins on the
who's that?
I don't know. I literally was looking it up. I think I put his name.
It's all good.
D'Anthony Hopkins or something like that. There's too many Hopkins in this league. But nonetheless, talking about DeAndre Hopkins, where do you see him landing here this is the season, and where is he going to be playing next season?
That is a great. I mean, I don't know. And that's kind of the mindset I have. Alex says, "I'm Cole Munson's best friend." So you're Ricky Rubio then, huh? Is that?
It doesn't answer the question, Alex A. Does A stand for anonymous?
It could be. I don't know. But he says, "I'll puke if D-Hop goes to KC." Now,
Ew.
I understand that, and I don't necessarily disagree with that because I just feel like they'd be really doggone good now. I mean, with even now that they've moved on from Tyreek Hill and whatnot and still able to win the Super Bowl, you add DeAndre Hopkins to that offense with Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. You're pretty lethal. Yeah. I mean, I'll say that.
Yeah.
I could see them making a play, but I don't know if he's necessarily a big fit. Now, a team that I don't know if you mentioned, the Browns could definitely be in there as well because who's his quarterback right now? Deshaun Watson, right? Aside from all the hoopla with that, yep. But I could see that. I think Diggs is going to have a big problem if D-Hop is in Buffalo. And I think Diggs wants to be that guy. And I think he's made that clear not only to the Minnesota Vikings but the Buffalo Bills, especially what happened this past offseason. So I don't see the Bills. I know people keep saying that, but I just don't know how those two will get along. But I could also see a team like, I could see like Atlanta maybe throwing a lot of money and seeing kind of how things go there and say, you know what, we'll just kind of take a shot here. We got, Drake London who played really well. I mean, now they have an explosive offense and see how things go. But I feel like he wants to go to a team that wants to win a Super Bowl, right? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I hate to say it, Alex, but KC, I think, is a place that could be very interesting for D-Hop. So I'll go with KC, but I'll put a close second the Cleveland Browns just because I feel like they need to add someone in that wide receiving group after, you used to having OBJ, Jarvis Landry, and all that.
Right.
You add him to that offense, and they're looking pretty good too. So I'll go KC and then Cleveland. So Voldy, what do you think?
Especially before the release of Hopkins as well, there had been some rumblings a little bit. Of course, him being displeased with being in Arizona and the fact that there had been so much turnover and not a lot of consistency in play the last few years. But one of the teams, not one of the teams reaching out, but a lot of the players of said team that are reaching out has been the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson's finally got that deal locked up. OBJ signed before Lamar got locked up as well. After that, wide receiver room pretty much wide open after that. I mean, you got OBJ. You do have first-round draft pick Zay Flowers as well out of Boston College.
True.
Then you got a lot of question marks. Rashad Bateman, is he going to be healthy? Nelson Aguilar, is he going to actually catch the ball this time? Got Devin Duvernay, Tylan Wallace, Shamar Bridges, Andy Isabella, and Tariq Black. So nobody is what you're saying after that as well. You need at least, obviously you need 3 wide receivers to make something happen as well. You've got Odell Beckham Jr. You do have Zay Flowers, a first-round draft pick, but a lot of defense is going to be keying in on OBJ. Is that going to open up for the likes of Zay Flowers? Hey, how about we add DeAndre Hopkins in the mix? 2 guys, you go that way very far, very fast. I'll see if I can get the ball to you. You got Zay Flowers. He could probably go down there a little bit, maybe cut something over the middle a little bit. Oh, yeah, you got Mark Andrews. You got a running game that's got J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards right now. And, oh, yeah, Lamar Jackson can still run and throw as well, even though he thinks he should definitely be more of a pocket passer in order to prolong his career as a Baltimore Raven. I see it as an opportunity for the Baltimore Ravens. You know, they've invested. They've invested in Lamar Jackson. Draft night, when he got drafted in 2018, he wants to bring a championship to Baltimore, and that's what he wants to do. This move could quite possibly do that and facilitate that. Now, is DeAndre going to be able to say, is he going to be questionable to say, yeah, I don't mind taking a little less in order to play with a team that could definitely do some damage on the field. But in the AFC, that's a guarantee. Even if you do have a very good record, you very well could not make the playoffs at the same point. The AFC North, the AFC East, that's where all those playoff teams are going to be coming from, minus the fact that you get the automatic qualifier, of course, out of the AFC West,
right,
a.k.a. the Kansas City Chiefs, too. So then you've got 7 teams vying for, 23 playoff spots. That's the way the NFL wants to play things nowadays, with everybody getting a shot at the playoffs as well. But, yeah, so you get at least the Chiefs, who are, going to be coming out of the AFC West, and then you've got Jacksonville, you got Tennessee, who could certainly make some noise as well. We'll see what Indianapolis wants to do, but everybody out of the AFC North and AFC East is going to be in play this season, and it all comes down to how that all develops. But I think a very good spot would be for with DeAndre Hopkins to go to Baltimore, push them over the edge a little bit, at least put their hat in the ring a little bit. But then you also bring up Cleveland as well, also out of the AFC North too. And I'm looking at their depth chart as well. Of course, you have Deshaun Watson as QB1. Then you've got the wide receivers that do include Amari Cooper. You do have Elijah Moore. Marquise Goodwin is in there at the same time. You got Anthony Schwartz. You've got basically nothing after that. So you got basically 2 legit wide receivers, couple of bubble guys. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones as well. And, that'd be another good spot. A lot of magic that happened in Houston with DeAndre, with Deshaun as well. Could that translate with the likes of, being in Cleveland too? That could certainly be a very good landing spot for him too. So I would definitely put Baltimore. Then I would put Cleveland for landing spots for DeAndre Hopkins coming up here this season.
Could very well be. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. So, all right. That'll do it for Absurd or Approved this week. Thank you, Voldy, as always.
Sir.
And let's do some Shield shout-outs. Got a couple Shield shout-outs, so let's get it going. What's up? Shield shout-outs.
Shield shout-outs.
All right, Shield, who ya shouting at tonight?
Well, I'd love to give a big Shield shout-out to everybody who was a part of our 150th episode giveaway, that tuned in, bared with us, and those great folks that are going to be winning some stuff here. Of course, we did have Cole Angelo, who is going to be winning a bumper sticker. Jeremy Richardson is going to be winning our last hat. And Jared Jensen going to be getting our limited edition t-shirt. But he could very well change his mind as well. I don't know if an XL is going to work, but we'll see. We'll see on that as well. We will let everybody know coming up here very, very soon if that is going to be the case. So for everybody that did put their names in as well, big thank you. You guys are what keeps the show going. If you do want a shirt, if you do want a sticker, let us know. We'll get them out to you. It's not very much to, help us keep this show going as well. We've got things in the works. We're getting some more stuff coming in. We're working on a few other things. We're looking forward to bigger and even better giveaways coming up here very, very soon as well. So that's a big Shield shout out to all the zoners out there. And also announced earlier here today, former Wild player Andrew Brunette, who was a great player for the Wild in his time, and is going to be now named just the 4th head coach in the entire history of the Nashville Predators. He was announced as head coach today just a couple seasons ago. He was the interim coach for the Florida Panthers, so a little vested interest. And also the very first player to score a goal for the Nashville Predators, that being Andrew Brunette. So he's going to be the bench boss coming up here this season. And that is going to do it for Shield shoutouts here this week.
All right. Can't complain on that.
No,
Great job with Shield shout-outs this week. And again, thank you to all the zoners who chimed in and obviously who won. Cole and Jared and Jeremy. I mean, you guys are getting some cool merch coming your way. And like Voldy said, we do have merch. We got sweatshirts, shirts. We got shirts. $20, $5 shipping. Yep. And then the stickers, like Voldy said, $2, $3 for the big ones, $2 for small ones. And then we got those awesome hats. Check it. Check it. We're going to have to get more because...
we're going to have to. Maybe we'll do something different. Who knows?
We'll see. We shall see. Make sure you guys check out W2 Performance, Will Rattel at www.w2performance.com. New content daily, so we'll make sure you check in with him. Thank you, National Fleet Graphic, Crown Rental, Tyler Knutson. And then make sure you guys check out the Victorious P.O.D. with Tyler Hermann and Jack Vickers. They're doing a lot of fantasy football stuff right now, so make sure you check out all their stuff, their YouTube shorts and whatnot. And then make sure you check out TLS Performance with our guy, Troy Stoudemire. He's killing it, absolutely killing it. And make sure you check out what he's got. He's got a lot of workouts planned. The guy's ripped, for one. And he's a former golfer, former Viking as well.
Viking.
We got that. And then also one last shout out goes out to the Popcorn Bucket List. PBL, our guys, Nick Dahlhoff and Ryan Myhrberg. I was just featured on one of their many game segments. I won't reveal what happened because my beef with Mitch Ribby was addressed. It was about time. It was about time we had this face-off, and yeah, I'm not going to reveal any more because there's a lot to be said. So, if Munson can get MinneZona tattooed on his arm, can I get Fan of the Year? It has to be a legit tattoo, though.
Legit.
It can't be this, let's
if he gets a MinneZona tattoo before either one of us, I think we're not doing our jobs right, so...
Well, let's just say this, Alex. We're probably gonna get one, and it's gonna
be a tramp stamp. Tramp stamp. Yes,
we're on the same page.
Oh my God, that is awesome! I can't believe we're on the same page. That is fantastic.
But I'm kind of joking at the same time. But anyway,
I'm definitely not joking. Tramp stamp or nothing, bro.
Tramp stamp or nothing. I love it. All right. Well, that was a great 151. Thanks to all who participated in the giveaway. Don't worry. There'll be more chances for more stuff, so make sure you check it. I can only offer his right cheek. That's it. Okay. That's fine. As long as it has to be legit, though. That's the thing.
Legit.
It has to be legit.
Ink in skin.
Yep. You're darn tootin'. But we are off next week, but we'll keep you up to date with content, things like that. And again, guys, it's the start of your summer. Enjoy your summer. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, and watch out for tomorrow. Just saying, with the Vikings. We're going to we'll probably get some news. So, anyway, without further ado, remember, as always, folks, keep in the zone.
Holla!
Thank you for watching MinneZona Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.